What's up, guys? So today we have interesting news coming from the German platform. They are releasing the information for the next treasure, which is scheduled to release tomorrow, Tuesday, for them. As you guys might know, they already did have the level cap increase to level 90, maybe more than a month ago, and it was only time. I already said that between a month, or at least between February to March, they should get themselves the next treasure, and everyone was saying Jinchurikis. The order should have been Jinchurikis anyway, but it was something that we just did not expect whatsoever, and it's just weird, all right. It was just completely unexpected. But let me go to the news section. So we are on the German forums, and they already announced the maintenance for tomorrow, Thursday, and they are also showing you the system updates. So the Reanimation Treasure, which Google Translates calls the reproductive system, is unlocked at level 60. And it is coming out tomorrow on the German side. Now, it is really strange because if you look closely here, the Kage Treasure goes to level 65, and the Sage Treasure for Naruto is going to be level 55. So this treasure is in between both of them. Then they also say that the Kakashi Icha Paradise comes out from the Blitz Realm, which I believe is the Mabui shop from the Land of Lightning treasure. And I think this Heroes Test is Strong Approach, so they're getting Itachi's Strong Approach to come out again. But when it comes to this treasure, it is really weird. Now, China does not have this treasure, and by this treasure, I mean this treasure exactly. They have this treasure split into two, and we're getting it combined together, which is just really weird. And it messes up the order, because Jinchurikis come out. There's Jinchuriki 1 and Jinchuriki 2. Then you would have this Reanimation Treasure in 2, which would be Reanimation 1, Reanimation 2. Then the third Reanimation, I wouldn't know if you would even consider Reanimation. This is a Great Ninja War Treasure from the Land of Lightning. Then you would have Reanimation Treasure, and followed by the Kurama Treasure with Reanimated Sagemon Hashirama that they are currently on. So I will explain that order further in the video as well. But it's just really interesting. I mean, you have Kinkaku, Ginkaku, the Gold and Silver Brothers, Sage Kabuto, Mu the second Tsuchikage, Rasa the fourth Kazekage, which is Gaara's dad, and Gengetsu Hozuki, which is the second Mizukage. And it also does tell you that you get Itachi Susanoo frags by pulling in this treasure. It's just really a surprise. Now, let us dive into the X-Files theme right now, because if the funny thing is, now Baku pointed this out, if you go into, this is posted 2 hours ago on Wednesday, where I'm making the video. You go into the 2.0 update for Germany, which was released on the 2nd of November, where they are first announcing 2.0. Now, I made a video about this way back when this was coming out. This is where shit gets real. So, if you look closely here, alright, this shows the survival trial of 2.0. Now, first you need to know that this is the PTR. This is the public test server for German Naruto Online. Now, if you see here, they already have Jinchurikis and Reanimated Ninjas, which was November. So they're already testing all these treasures out. They already have Reanimated Ninjas and Jinchurikis, but they decide to release the reanimated ones. And no, Reanimated Nagato, which is right between Enma and Hebihime, he does not come out with the current reanimation batch. He comes out much later. So it's really, this is some X-Files shit right here. I didn't even notice this until Baku pointed it out. But you see here, the Reanimation Treasure that Germany is getting tomorrow. Then you see Roshi, you see Reanimated Nagato, you see some clown from the Sound Village, I don't care about his name. And then the god Enma Harambe sitting in the middle. So it's really funny, like this was in November. Like you guys can see here, this is from the 2nd of November. I mean, and they already had all this in the test room. Now, it does take time for stuff to be thoroughly tested and then released into the game so it works. But come on, like you had access to, like, knowing we see Reanimated Nagato, that means there are more Reanimated Ninjas that they have access to. And if they would have followed the order, they should have given us Jinchurikis anyway. So this game is on some freaky shit. I mean, damn. But it still amazes me that they had this stuff from November. Who knows what they have now? I mean, the public test rooms at this point, or whatever, public test server, they might have like Reanimated Hashirama at this point, because this was November and it's currently March. So just wanted to point that out. It's pretty interesting though for us to see that. Now let us just go into some more X-File stuff when it comes to our version of the game. If you go into the Recruit Treasure, now you will see, hover over the 5 Kage Treasures and look very closely above the strongest ninjas. Not at her titties, boy. I said under that. So if you go and really zoom in, you will see this little piece, right? You can see people standing there. I mean, if you know enough Naruto, you will see on the right-hand side, you see Mu's hands, right? So, this was an Easter egg, I guess, or just a fucked up update back then. A lot of people point this out before. I did see this before, but I never really, tried to investigate what it was for. I just thought it was, they just messed up. I assumed there was a different treasure, maybe a future one, but that's why I was maybe it's just a error, a display bug. So, this screenshot is going to be very vital to when we go into the Chinese side of the game, which I have not been on in months. But you will see here, this is the treasure that they are getting. And if you look closely, you can see Gengetsu Hozuki in the middle. Still same arm sticking out, same kind of position. Sage Kabuto is to the left, but his cloak is so dark you can't see it in this image. And Mu is on a different banner, but he is on this one. So let us just dive right into the Chinese version of the game. So guys, I'm here on the Chinese version of the game. Have not been on here in God knows how long. I don't know, I think the last video from China was sometime November as well, maybe even October. I definitely don't remember when I was on here. I have 62 mail, and it's been a lot of stuff. This is arena rewards, and I haven't done arena in I don't even know how long either. So this is just so much stuff. These are all arena coins and other stuff. Let's just not worry about this right now. My server is also very overpowered by now, as you can assume. Now, I did play here with Binex way back when, and we just kind of gave up. Jesus Christ, it goes up to so many people, and there have been multiple merges. The rank 1 has freaking reanimated Sage 1 Hashirama, Kurama Naruto, Hokage Tsunade. It just gets more danker and danker as we go on. The rank 2 is no idea what they're trying out with that team. Just some Tendo round 1 lineup right there. Another Kurama Naruto, Hokage Tsunade, and our beloved Roshi. So, what does that mean for our game when we're not going to get ourselves the Roshi, the Jinchurikis? Alright, it means we're not getting a Roshi for God knows how long. So, you guys have to realize that it goes from right to left in China. So, you start off with this Ninja Treasure banner, level 30. Pretty much typical stuff in there. Now, you will see the Tendo Treasure. On 10 cent right now, you get this at level 45. You will also notice that there is no Sage Treasure. So Sage Naruto is integrated into this one. And there was no in-between treasure from Kage's to Tendo, as far as I'm aware of. Then we get to Kage's, which they get at level 50 or 55, somewhere around there. Maybe 50, I think. And they might have some more ninjas added to this list compared to us. I am not sure if Hiruzen does get added to the Kage Treasures or whatnot, but do realize their treasures are slightly different. Then, after Kage's, came the Jinchurikis. You had the first side with Yagura, Niyugito, as well as Roshi. And then the second Jinchuriki, which both came at the same time, you had Fu, Han, and then this fuckboy. I hate saying his name. It's either Utakata or it's Ukataka. I always forget what the fuck his name is, but I just know he is the 6th Jinchuriki, and that's all that matters. So yeah, every time I say his name, I already know it's wrong because it sounds wrong every time I say it. So you have these 2 Jinchuriki treasures. Those were next on the list. Now you see on the left-hand side, right? Let me bring up the conspiracy theories. This is where it all goes down. So, as I was saying, they combined this treasure alongside this treasure, and they're giving it to us as one. Now, this could be a good or bad thing. It's a bad thing if you're trying to get one specific ninja, because it means you have to do more pulls since you have a lower chance of getting them. For instance, the ones that I would really like from this banner is Gengetsu Hozuki and Sage Kabuto. And from this banner, I would really like to get Rasa, which is Gar's dad. Now, in the current banner that Germany is getting, I would have a 3 out of 6 chance of pulling any of the ninjas I want as a rare, compared to getting a 1 out of 3 chance. So, you know, it's really gonna be difficult, and there is always a chance of pulling dupes, so you could get screwed over. I assume since they're all listed ninjas, the threshold would still be around 60 scrolls to pull a rare. And I'm guessing the fourth thing on this list is gonna be the Itachi Susanoo frags, as it seems the same. So it must be the Itachi Susanoo frags that they have listed. So, no more Roshi treasure, but we are now getting a combination of these two reanimated treasures. Which, as you guys might have noticed, this is where the Easter egg comes in. You can pay attention, alright? You can see here the Gengetsu Hozuki, the Mu on the right side, and the Sage Kabuto on the left. This is what the imprint on the Kage treasure that we have is showing. But we're not getting this treasure, we're getting one instead of two. So that's just an interesting thing I wanted to point out for you guys. Alright. And then the next treasure is the third lineup, which is not a Reanimation Treasure, but it is the Cloud Ninja Treasure, or the Land of Lightning. You have Raikage's Papa right here, alright? Bigger Daddy than Big Daddy. Freaking third Raikage A, and he is a beast as well. Then you have Samui, with great personality, and she is insane. She's like an Iruka for Cloud Ninjas. And on top of that, you have Omoi, which I'm not sure exactly what he does, but he's also really good. Basically, these three ninjas make OG Mudbone, the fourth Raikage, insanely strong. It makes him a lot stronger. This is a treasure, if you have a Raikage right now, you will be waiting for, and you will try to get them all. Another thing I should note is that all of these ninjas, except the third Raikage right here, are 2-star. So third Raikage is a 3-star. Omoi, Samui, Ginkaku, Kinkaku, Rasa, Sage Kabuto, Gengetsu Hozuki, and Mu are all 2-star ninjas. So that makes it even more difficult for the banner. Two more treasures I don't have up here because I'm not high enough level. Somewhere like 65-ish, you do get the Reanimation Swordsman treasure. And I think 70, 72, somewhere around there, you get yourself the Kurama Naruto Sagema Hashirama treasure. So, besides these treasures, I'm only missing access to 2 of them. That basically solves all the treasure stuff. Now I want to do a good analysis on the actual ninjas that you can pull. I mean, we're not going to get ourselves the Roshi anymore. I found this on the German forums, yo, that thing is hilarious. So no Roshi for us, at least not for a while longer. And to make things worse, the English side still needs the level 90 cap, and then we still have that gap from the level 90 cap up until the treasure, which we will be getting Reanimation. There is a very slim chance that Oasis is going to give Germany the Reanimation and give us Jinchurikis. Because Oasis publishes both games, they're just in different languages. And they do have management different though. We have been getting updates generally, we have been getting some updates that Germany doesn't get right away. Same for the Brazil version. So our English version is a lot faster, but still, doing something as giving one version a treasure while we don't get that treasure, it's kind of fucked up for that version, because I can tell you, Germany would much rather have Roshi than get themselves this treasure. So if we were that, but enough about that. It's a really slim chance for us to actually get the Jinchurikis while they're getting this. So this is going to be our treasure, which Germany's getting now. We will get maybe in like 2 months' time. I don't know. That's just a rough estimate. So let us venture forth into this. What you should know is they are 2-stars, like I pointed out. The only 3-star was the Raikage's father in those 3 Great Ninja War Reanimation Treasures. If I can exactly find him. Like playing hide and seek somewhere. There we go. So he is the only 3-star out of those 3 banners that I pointed out. Pretty sick as well. If you go into the description of the video and look for the Naruline document that has the translations. They are rough translations, but I do believe they're very good. I've been using those translations throughout, the entire time I've been playing this game. And they do give you a good idea of what the ninjas have as far as potential. So these ninjas are all 2-stars, which poses many problems. First of all, if you do have to spend 60 scrolls per ninja, which I assume you do, that is already only going to get you a 2-star, which is really lacking on the stats. Now, to get yourself a 3-star means you have to keep pulling duplicates, and for duplicates to happen, you're only going to get 20 fragments. So you still would need to pull 3 more duplicates to get one a 3-star, because you're only getting 20 frags each time, and from a 2-star to a 3-star, it's 50 frags. That's one big issue. The next thing is that these ninjas do tend to show up in Chinese events. The Chinese events are not up in China right now, because it is still not 5 a.m. over there, so they didn't reset. but it is past midnight. So this poses the big problem. You could wait for these ninjas to hit events and hopefully not have, wallet raping prices and just pick them up from there, 3-star, and save yourself scrolls was time. Because honestly, I don't want all of them. I would take all of them to mess around with them, but I'm only leaning on 3 select ones that are very interesting to me, and I would not rather risk, a 3 and 6 chance for pulling those that I want, especially with a high chance of getting dupes after you pull several of them. And getting them 2-star anyway is not ideal, so I would prefer to wait until they hit events and just buy all the fragments needed for 3-star, which is 80. Now let us go in to the actual ninjas. So you have yourself the Gold and Silver brothers, Kinkaku and Ginkaku, whom I found to be really cool in the anime. If you guys also know, they do have some part of the Nine-Tails chakra, and they were also the ones who pretty much killed Tobirama, since they were a part of the task force that ambushed them, and Tobirama sacrificed himself for his village to basically escape from the war. So I'm going to go through all these ninjas, give you detailed analysis, and basically so you guys can see what they do, and I'll basically give you my opinion on them. So Kinkaku, he is very similar to Great Ninja War Tenten, because he also has the fan, which I'm probably going to mess the name up, but I believe it's the Basho-shan. Could be wrong. Very similar to Great Ninja War Tenten. Same mystery. It has attack the enemy team, causing fire, wind, water, lightning, earth, nin taijutsu damage. So all 5 elements causes a 5 combo to each of them. Now the difference here is that he is Great Ninja War Tenten before the 2.0, because he can't do his mystery round 1, and it is a 40 chakra cost compared to Great Ninja War Tenten doing the mystery round 1 now and having a 60 cost. So same mystery, just you can't use Kinkaku's on the first round. His standard attack attacks the opposing enemy with a high chance of high float. His chase is also low float, causing knockdown and immobilize, which can be triggered twice each round, so that's actually pretty interesting. Now his first passive, at the beginning of battle, he gives a shield to himself as well as another reanimated ninja based on 80% of his resistance, which is very high. That's like Gakido's mystery high. And he also increases combo rate by 40% for 3 rounds for himself as well as that other reanimated ninja, which is a very fair boost. I mean, mostly going to get him for the shield. Now, his second passive, when it's supposed to say Kinkaku, not Ginkaku. When Kinkaku gets hit by a taijutsu attack, ignite the attacker. So, the interesting thing is that they're not Jinchurikis, even though they do have the Nine-Tail chakra. They simply were stuck in the Nine-Tails and they were like feeding off him to stay alive and just basically eating his chakra, and that's how they got the Nine-Tails cloak. But despite that, he causes ignite upon hits, which is pretty interesting, but he is not immune to debuffs like a Jinchuriki should be. So he will be taking a ton of damage, but he does have his first passive, which will give him a big shield. So he wouldn't be that bad for a frontliner, and his mystery is honestly not too bad either. It's same kind of power as Great Ninja War Tenten, but you should realize that they come as 2 stars. Another thing is he is a lightning attribute ninja, just going over that, so you could pair him up with a lot of interesting ninjas to get barrier buffs and whatnot. Then we go into his brother, Ginkaku, which is the silver brother, Kinkaku is the gold brother. He has the sealing gourd, which is like the weapon from the Sage of Six Paths. That's what it was all about in that specific arc of Naruto. So Ginkaku's mystery is going to attack the selected target, causing immobilize. If the target is killed by this mystery, they cannot revive. If the target is the last surviving ninja, the damage is doubled by this move. So it's very interesting. As a sort of cleanup against the last opponent, should do a ton of damage because it's double damage. Another thing is this is a 0 battlefield entrance cooldown, so you can use this round 1 as a very good crowd control. It is going to immobilize the target, so you could run Ginkaku just to stop the enemy. Really good crowd control, use it first round, but it does have a 3-round cooldown, so you do need to be aware of that. Unlike Susanoo Itachi that can use his chaos for first round and second round before it goes off on a 3-round cooldown. Then his standard attack does a chance of repulse and acupuncture. Acupuncture is really good because it stops the enemy from using their mystery attack. He also chases knockdown and causes low flow and acupuncture, which can also be triggered twice per round. Very good. Kinkaku is basically has the immobilizing chase, while Ginkaku has the acupuncture chase. So they don't work bad. They work well together. assuming you can fit them in. Now, the interesting thing about Ginkaku is his passive. Now, like I said, they are known for stopping Tobirama, and eventually led to his death in the intense combat. His first passive increases damage done to Kage's, like Tsunade or Tobirama, for instance, by 50%. So he does 50% more damage to Kage's, which is very deadly. You will see Kage's, such as Hokage Tsunade in China. You will also see the reanimated versions of reanimated Tobirama, reanimated Minato. You know, and then now they have reanimated Hiruzen, so they're going to continue down that line. Reanimated Seikun Hashirama. Even though he does come out at 2-star, this passive could be deadly depending on how high his stars are and how stacked this Ginkaku is. So overall, it's insane. Plus, imagine if there's the last target left, that's a Kage, 50% damage boost plus double the damage on top of that. Really insane. And then before the first action of each round, recovers a little bit of life based on his own ninjutsu attribute, recovers 20 chakra. So, you know, honestly, not that bad. And just like his brother, they're both lightning types because they came from the line of lightning. Also counts as a swordsman, while Kinkaku does not. So Ginkaku is a swordsman, while Kinkaku isn't. So yeah, try not to get confused with the names. You know, it's often hard to say Kinkaku and Ginkaku without getting them mixed up. It's just, I already know that Kinkaku is gold-haired, and that's why I just assume whatever. You know, and then the way you can kind of assume it is Ginkaku starts with a G. So even though he has silver hair, just think of it as gray. That's just kind of a simple way to remember these ninjas. Now we go into Sage Kabuto, which is really interesting. So he's a water attribute. He also has the Sound Ninja, Konoha, and whatever the last one may be. Let's see, I didn't see that buff before. So he has very interesting moves. Now this is the Kabuto node for reanimation, but he is on a next level reanimation. So his mystery is a prompt, resurrects all dead ninjas on the selected team. Now this makes me believe that in a Great Ninja War setup, you can target somebody else's team if you click on them, and that will revive all their dead ninjas. So that could be really good in that setup. But on the downside of resurrecting the entire team, he gives them 10% HP when they get reanimated, and they have reincarnation status, which I guess is reanimation. And when Kabuto activates the second chase, reduce the cooldown on this mystery by 1 round. Now you could use this on the first round as well. I must say that this Kabuto is already very interesting. I mean, resurrecting an entire team, 10% HP or not, is still very strong. But yeah, 10% HP is just, they're going to be very low HP anyway, so I don't see them not getting nuked back up unless you revive them after the enemy's mysteries went off and stuff like that. Taking a look at his standard attack, he summons 1 or 2 dead souls to the field, gives them reincarnation and Konoha status. Each of the standards have a high probability of doing high flow. So unlike the first Kabuto, who has that as mystery, this is Kabuto's standard attack, which is very solid. They also do start the combo for you. He chases low float and causes high float and paralysis, which is a very good crowd control as well. Paralysis makes it so you cannot participate in chases. So against certain targets, you could ruin an entire combo just like that. He also chases low float, or the second chase, is triggered by a 30-hit combo, which when we get into China meta, they start having ninjas that go beyond 10-hit combo chases. They start going to 20-hit combos as well as 30-hit combos, and these summons that we don't have from China, they also are starting to do 10-hit combos, 20-hit combos, 30-hit combos maybe. I'm not too sure about that, but they do focus on hit combos more than actual standard combos themselves, which is very interesting. And for doing a 30-hit combo, he will hit 4 enemies and cause poison to them, which is pretty solid. And his first passive is basically going to be soul absorption, just like Jigokudo and maybe the Orochimaru's. When a unit dies, recover 10 chakra and 10% life. Can be triggered up to 6 times a round. It's really interesting. You know, I do like the way this Kabuto seems. He just revives an entire team, 10% HP or not. That could be the game breaker, especially in the Great Ninja War setup. I mean, plus soul absorption, even if they do just die after they get back up, maybe they just, you get the chakra and life back. So it's really interesting the way that works. Another thing is you have ninjas such as reanimated Sasori that will boost reanimated ninjas. So for instance, when Sasori dies, he will come back to life and rebuff reanimated ninjas. Similar to how Conan buffs, he will buff up to 9 reanimated allies. you could pair that up with Kabuto and it will work out well. Because he just seems to make any ninja after he revives a reanimated type. So even all ninjas that aren't already reanimated, which is just, it's really fun around. It's a really fun ninja to mess around with. Really interesting. Then we will head into the Kages, such as Mu. Second Tsuchikage. He was really interesting to me because he was the founder of particle style that taught it to Potato Nozanoki. He also has the bloodline limits passive. A lot of new passives I'm seeing here, or types at least. He is also a Earth Ninja. There's the skill art that you can see there. And Mu is honestly interesting because of this super overpowered clone that he makes. So his first passive, at the start of battle, summons a clone that has 70% of Mu's original attributes. That clone uses Mu's standard attack as his own standard attack. So 70% of his total stats, that's very high for a clone. It's going to be super beefed up. Now his standard attack is nothing too special. Attacks to opposing enemy and causes low flow. But it's going to do some damage, and it's going to have a lot of HP as well. Another interesting thing is when after Mu dies, he revives 2 rounds later, and he also resummons the clone. So that clone is going to be tricky to deal with. If he was just reviving, not using and not resummoning the clone, it would have been really average for that. But the fact that he does resummon the clone is very interesting. He chases knockdown and causes knockdown and immobilize, which knockdown is a very common chase, so it works out well. Plus the immobilize is a very good crowd control. Now going into his mystery. So his mystery attacks the enemy team, causing earth, fire, wind attribute, nin taijutsu damage, and causes knockdown to a selected target. Now upon that, if an enemy is killed by his move or his mystery, the enemy cannot resurrect, and when Mu's clone is on the field, his damage is greatly increased for his mystery. So that is pretty nuts. I mean, the clone's going to have a lot of HP, so it might stay alive, especially if you have some sort of buffs or healing. It's really interesting to mess with Mu, but personally I just, I wouldn't see myself using him too much. I would definitely give him a try. But it's a very interesting ninja. Plus it's a 1-round cooldown, so you will use the second round. 40 chakra cost. Then we will have ourselves D. Rasa, which is Gaara's dad. And personally, he is a really cool Kazekage. I liked him and the third Kazekage. Third Kazekage had Iron Sand, was supposed to be the strongest Kazekage, which I guess Boruto's Gaara is probably the strongest by now. He at least lived the longest. And Rasa here was basically gold sand, gold dust. That was his ninjutsu. And it was just really nice and awesome to see. So he is a wind attribute, and he is very similar to Gaara, but more of an offensive type. So his mystery, the biggest issue right there is his 80 chakra cost mystery. But it is very strong. Causes wind and earth attribute ninjutsu damage to 3 enemies and immobilizes them, and causing knockdown to the selected target. So triple man immobilize is very strong, but 80 chakra cost, you're going to have to use ninjas that can gather up your chakra for the second round. Which that's pretty much the reason why I don't like Gaara's, or just, now his dad. Even though it's very interesting, they just need so much chakra for the mysteries. Then his standard attack does a chance to cause low flow and immobilize, which is pretty good. Kazekage Gaara has immobilize as a chase, but his standard attack doesn't immobilize. His first chase is low flow into high flow, and then his second chase, which is by a 20 hit combo, attacks 4 enemies, does wind and earth ninjutsu damage, along with paralyze. So very good right there. He is a very offensive Kazekage, I must say. On top of that, he does have super armor, which means he's immune to combos. So overall, very solid. That's why I really would like to try Rasa out, regardless of his cost. But being a 2-star, I definitely feel like he would need to be 3-star just to get very good stats and higher, damage output. But he's a very offensive Gaara without the barrier. I think he would do very well. And then we have Gengetsu Hozuki, who is really interesting. Oops, let me just first go on him and just show it. So he is the second Mizukage, and he is also a water element. Now, he was interesting in the anime for me because he just had that huge clan, and he was a Genjutsu master, supposedly. So I wanted to see what he could do, and we finally get to see that chance. So what he does have is his mystery attacks the selected enemy. So he hits one person, but causes massive water attribute nin taijutsu damage, causes knockdown, and ignites. So massive water damage for ninjutsu and taijutsu to one person seems really good. And then every time he does a 10-hit combo, his mystery is reduced by 1 round, which pairs up into his standard attack, where his standard attack will attack the opponent, chance to cause 10-hit combo, and repulse. So he seems like he'd be doing very, very strong single target damage, which is nice to see. You know, he will just target one person, hopefully goes for some kind of bursting nuke team. Then his chase is repulse into knockdown, and his first passive, before the first action of each round, summons a water clone. The water clone will explode and attack 3 enemies and cause tag for its standard attack. So I'm hoping that the water clone does some good damage. The fact that it's coming out every round and exploding to the enemy seems like it will keep doing some damage on top of that. Then his passive increases 4% ninjutsu and 8% combo rate for every reanimated ninja on the team. So he does get stacked up, and I'm assuming his mystery, even though it does stack up to ninjutsu and taijutsu, his ninjutsu is his focus stat, and you'll be getting some serious single target damage from that. So I must say, from these reanimated ninjas, I do want to get Gengetsu Hozuki, Rasa, as well as Sage Kabuto the most. They seem to be the most interesting. But I still can't let it slide that we're gonna get, one treasure, which makes it even harder to get the specific ninjas. I mean, I would have a higher chance, in this treasure right here in China, I could have gotten Sage Kabuto and Gengetsu Hozuki, and there's a chance of getting Mu. But they combine all 6 of these together, so it just means I can only use half of the ninjas. And it's just really risky when it comes to that. Really don't like that. And not even China has this banner, they have it split up. So, there's definitely some X-File stuff going on. Really can't believe that. I mean, it was still interesting though. It was really interesting to see that China or Germany already had more reanimated ninjas and Jinchurikis and still decided to release these reanimated ninjas, which I would say that they are solid. They will change the way the game works, but spending 60 scrolls for a 2-star ninja is something I wouldn't exactly want to see. You guys can let me know in the comments, like, would you actually spend for that? In my personal opinion, I will wait for events. I will pick them up as 3-star from there. I probably just wouldn't spend any sort of seal scrolls on that actual treasure whatsoever. I will definitely wait for events, and I will just continue stacking my seal scrolls for Roshi, which I should be really close to obtaining him if he was released today. Otherwise, I will just continue stacking for Han, I guess. Han and Roshi just give you too much value for their cost. They are the cheapest super rares for that reason. So maybe Oasis is doing a marketing strat to make more profits before dropping out, such good value ninjas such as Roshi and Han. They're gonna release the reanimated ninjas that are, I guess, at the bottom of the list for reanimateds, although they are still pretty solid. So you can see here Han and Roshi, or Roshi and Han, right next to each other. Very strong, and the other Jinchurikis as well. Would be fun to mess around with. Now, yeah, you also saw here, I already forgot her name, but the second Jinchuriki, she is a 2-star, compared to all the other Jinchurikis being 3-star as well. And even the super rares, thank God the super rares are 3 stars. And then you have yourself reanimated Nagato, which is a mixture of all the pains. Fortunately, he could have been better, but he does provide a lot of utility for all the stuff he's packed with. But yeah, I just don't see myself spending on that treasure. Don't see too many people spending for that either, unless they just really want to get their Pokemon collection game up. We were all expecting the Roshi treasure, and it just did not happen. But hopefully you guys found this video informational and enjoyed it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.